Students, in this assignment, you're going to be doing your resume and your cover letter. Hopefully, it's going to be the resume and the cover letter that you're going to be using when you graduate from Cumberland University and pass the NCLEX to apply, maybe even before you pass the NCLEX, to apply for those jobs that you're going to be looking for as an RN. So I actually want you to do this thing as if you're applying for these jobs. You might be in the job already. So let's go with it from there. If you go to chapter 27, page 471 through 473, you're going to see some reference material for building your resume or cover letter. Here's just the difference between a CV and a resume. A CV is more an academic audience if you are applying for a job within academia or something like that, so that's not where you guys are going to be. You're going to be doing a resume because you're applying for a job, although you might be applying for graduate school either way. So you're just slightly different. A CV speaks more to an academic audience and your intellectual accomplishments. A resume is something that a job manager is going to be looking at to decide whether or not you're a good fit for that position. Here's some information, reference material right here. All right. You're getting a BSN, it's an entry-level degree into nursing. Unless you have experience in healthcare, like as an LPN or CNA in multiple places, your resume is probably going to be one page and not much more. If you have a lot more than that, you're probably putting stuff in there that doesn't belong. Some of the things you will put in there is your clinical hours and what you learned. Okay, in Adult Health 1 class, you learned about diabetes. Hopefully during Adult Health 1 clinical, you're able to utilize some of that didactic knowledge to build interventions and interventions to help your patient get to a certain goal. That's what I want to see on a resume. I don't just want to see, oh, I did med-surg class. What did you learn in the class that you applied to the clinical, and what was the result? You know what, even sometimes a bad outcome is still an outcome, and it shows experience. We know that you're students. Hopefully, if you're applying for a job, there's 3 jobs and only 1 applicant, that would be nice. But if there's 2 jobs and 7 applicants and you're all new graduates, everybody knows you're a new graduate. So you know what, that's what you're gonna have to work with, okay? Adult Health 1, you did 108, Adult Health 2, 108, Advanced Topics 144, Peds, OB, and Psych 45 hours each. So that's information that should be in your resume, what you learned during those rotations. All right. Previous employers, chances are many of you, if not all of you, have had some kind of job or job experience while you were going through college or even in high school, and that's fine. Let's go ahead and list it if it's pertinent, okay? If you worked at McDonald's for 2 weeks, don't list it, okay? Now, if you worked at McDonald's all the way through high school, the same McDonald's, there are a couple different ones all the way through high school and college, and you were a shift supervisor by the time you finished up and graduated school, well, guess what? You supervised people and you managed funds. That's leadership. That's important. Okay? So let's keep it to pertinent job experience. If you ran your own lawn company to make ends meet, hey, you know what? That's a good thing, because again, that's leadership and entrepreneurship. So let's utilize that. If you were a supervisor, how many people did you supervise? All right. Are there any weaknesses in your application? Now we're getting into the cover letter here, so we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay. Down here is a grading rubric. Okay. Cover letter should be 1 page. Resume should not be more than 2. If it's more than 2, you need to cut it down. That's 5 points for your grade right there. Make sure you keep within the page requirements, because if you're rambling, it's too big. All right. Cover letter layout, I'm going to go over that in a minute. Cover letter style, grammar, I'm going to be looking for that. And then those elements, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Resume, visual appeal. Anyway, you can see the resume and cover letter grading rubric right here. I'm going to be going straight out off of that. Now, if you go into the file section for resume info, you're going to see a cover letter example and reference example and resume examples. And here they are. Here's a little guide to writing your cover letter. Okay, it gives information. It shouldn't be any longer than 3 or 4 paragraphs. And this upload right here will kind of let you know what I'm going to be looking for when I'm grading this thing. And here is an example. Okay, it is a business letter, so make it look like a business letter. Okay, you're addressing this to, hopefully, instead of nurse recruiter, hopefully you even know the person that you're applying to. the director of nursing at Vanderbilt University, if you know that person's name, and their correct title. Okay, watch my video on titles. Don't mess that up because I will ding you on that. All right, this one has 4 paragraphs. It's got an opening salutation, kind of goes into it, why they want that job. Then they talk about the reason why they want to do OSHU in this case. In your case, let's say you want to work at Vanderbilt, you want to work on pediatrics. Well, I would kind of suggest you go to their website and see if they have a mission statement. See if you can work some of those mission statements of the pediatrics unit in Vanderbilt into your letter so that it lets the reader know that you're aware of what their job is or what they do there. So there's a cover letter example that's in files. And here's a resume example. Okay, you can follow this format exactly, and you know what? Keep it simple. Why reinvent the wheel? This one's 2 pages, and it's a full 2 pages, and that's okay. They have their certifications, they have what they did, their experience, and that's what I'm going to be looking for from your resume and cover letter. And that is how this assignment is going to go. I want it to be that resume and that cover letter that you're going to change ever so slightly when you're applying for a job so that you're ready to go when you graduate from Cumberland, or hopefully even before.